of the fantasy basketball season. So most playoffs start next week in your fantasy leagues. But here's a few guards I would look to add on the waiver wire this week. The first guy is Mccallie Flynn of the Toronto Raptors. So Flynn, his playing time's gone up a lot over the last few weeks here for the Raptors. On the season, he's ranked 346 in fantasy basketball, 4.5 points a game, 1.7 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 0.6 threes a game, 70% from the foul line, and 35% from the field. But the last few weeks for Flynn, he's ranked 102 with 10.6 points a game, 4.1 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.8 steals, 1.4 threes a game, 72% from the foul line, and 42% from the field. So Flynn, he's getting more playing time, and he's taking advantage of it. And we've seen him now get 35 minutes plus in the last 3 out of 4 ball games here for the Toronto Raptors. And the Raptors this season, it's been a down year for them. They're looking to take things easy and tank a little as well, I think, for a decent draft pick in the NBA draft. And Flynn, the last few games, April 8th versus Chicago, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 3 threes. April 10th at the Cavaliers, 20 points, 2 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals, 2 threes. And last night at the New York Knicks, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a 3 and a block. So Flynn, he's getting rebounds, he's assisting the ball, and he's getting about 1 to 2 steals per game. So he's going to play major minutes, like I mentioned, for this Toronto team. And he's definitely worth an add this week. And he's available in 67% of fantasy leagues. The next guard I will look to add on waivers this week's Reggie Jackson of the Los Angeles Clippers. So Jackson, he's had a reemergence the last few weeks here with this Clipper team. And on the season, he's ranked 290th in fantasy basketball, 10 points a game, 2.7 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 79% from the foul line, 1.6 threes a game, and 46% from the field. But the last 2 weeks now, he's ranked 92 in fantasy basketball, 14.6 points a game, 3.3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2.5 threes a game, 90% from the foul line, and 48% from the field. So Jackson, he's getting about 25 to 30 minutes a game over the last week or two here for this Clipper team. And throughout his career with the Thunder and obviously Detroit earlier on, we knew Jackson, he's a pure scorer, and he's a guy that's going to hit three-pointers. He's going to find a way to get to the foul line, and he's going to find a way to score. And right now, he could be a secret weapon for this Los Angeles Clipper team and fantasy owners down the stretch here towards the end of the season and the playoffs. In the last 3 games for Jackson, April 8th versus Phoenix, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 threes. April 9th versus Houston, 26 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a whopping 6 3-pointers. And then last night versus former team, the Pistons, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and a block. So Jackson, he's doing it all over the board for fantasy owners, and he's really having an impact right now and playing good basketball. And he's available in 88% of fantasy leagues. And I know Rondo has been in and out of the lineup. Beverly is hurt now, and I think Jackson's going to have a good role, and he should be a player you should look to add this week at the guard position. The next guard is Dillon Brooks of the Memphis Grizzlies. So Brooks, it's been a roller coaster ride this season with the ownage percentage of Brooks. And right now in fantasy, he's available still in 47% of fantasy leagues is Brooks. But Brooks on the season, he's ranked 138, 16.4 points a game, 2.8 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.2 steals a game, 2 threes a game, 82% from the foul line, and 41% from the field for Brooks. The last couple weeks, though, the numbers have improved a bit. 18 points a game, 2.4 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 2.4 threes a game, 48% from the field, and 68% from the line. So Brooks, he's had a big part of this Memphis Grizzly offense the whole season and this team. And he's going to play his 25 to 35 minutes a game each and every night. And this Grizzly team, they're not in the hunt right now. And they're going to go with the young guys. And Brooks, he's still a pretty young guy in this league for this Memphis Grizzly team. And he's a player that should be owned in more fantasy leagues than only the 53% in the last 3 games for Brooks. April 7th at Atlanta, 17 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 3 threes. April 9th at the Knicks, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and 3 threes. And last night in Indiana, 13 points, a rebound, an assist, a block, and a 3. So Brooks, he's got some nights where he gives you some categories and some nights where he's a pure scorer. But either way, he's a player I would definitely want on my roster. And you should add, the next guard's Corey Joseph of the Detroit Pistons. So we saw Joseph getting traded for DeLon Wright a few weeks ago before the NBA trade deadline. And I thought Corey Joseph wouldn't really have a role on a Piston team that's rebuilding, but I was wrong on the season. He's ranked 220th in fantasy basketball, 7.6 points a game, 2.5 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 81% from the foul line, and 46% from the field. But since the trade here, Joseph, he's had some great numbers. 12.4 points a game, 3.1 rebounds, 6.8 assists, 1.2 steals a game, 90% from the foul line, and 55% from the field for Joseph. So Joseph, he's definitely producing, and he's getting about 30 minutes a game here with his new Detroit Piston team. And he's a player that's going to help you in points. He's going to be a good assister of the basketball, and he also could get you a steal or 2 a game. And the last 3 games for Joseph have been pretty productive. April 8th at Sacramento, one of his former teams, 24 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, a steal, and a block. April 10th at Portland, he only had 4 points, 3 rebounds, but he did add 8 assists and a block. And then last night at the Clippers, he played his heart out in this one with a huge double-double, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 13 assists, 2 steals, and a 3. So if you need some scoring, you need some steals, and you need a good assister, I think Corey Joseph is definitely a good add this week at the guard position. And he's available in 86% of fantasy leagues. And the 5th and final guard, I would look to add on waivers this week's Cole Anthony of the Orlando Magic. So Anthony, he was out a while with an injury, but he finally came back, is the young rookie here for this Magic team. And he's a player on the season ranked 259 in fantasy basketball, 11 points a game, 4.6 rebounds, 4 assists, a 3 a game, 83% from the foul line, and 36% from the field, which is pretty bad. But the last couple weeks, the numbers, they've been just about the same have they been on the year. 11 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 5.7 assists, 83% from the foul line, and 31% from the field. But he's been back the last 3 games as Anthony, and he's just got to get back into the rhythm and the thick of things. But right here, this Magic team obviously rebuild, and they traded a lot of big pieces at the NBA trade deadline, like Nikola Vukovic, obviously, Evan Fournier, they traded, and Aaron Gordon. So right now, it's a rebuilding team, and they're going to be rebuilding for years to come here, is this Magic team. So right now, Cole Anthony, their first-round pick this season, they're going to give him every opportunity, and he's going to go out there and play, and he should be owned in most 12-team leagues or deeper. In the last 3 games since he returned, April 7th versus Washington, 13 points, a rebound, 7 assists, 2 threes. April 9th versus the Pacers, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. And last night versus the Bucks, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a block. So Anthony, he's getting an opportunity. And besides his field goal percentage, everything else has been pretty decent so far since he returned. And he's available in 73% of fantasy leagues. So that's a few guards I will look to add on the waiver wire this week in Week 16 of the fantasy basketball season.